How to structure a speech session. There are many ways to sneak in speech sessions at home. It doesn't always have to be a formal sit-down practice session. For instance, you might practice for a few minutes in the car, on the way to the store, while taking a walk together, or while doing chores. Just ask your child to repeat some practice words while you are doing those activities together. Or deliberately pick activities or toys that involve using words with their speech sound. Think about how babies and toddlers learn to talk. We don't have formal lessons with them, and yet they pick it up. The more you talk to your kids and speak around them, the more your child will learn. And I almost hate to bring this up, but avoid baby talk with children who are no longer babies. Some parents think their child's speech error is cute and hate to let it go. My advice is take a video to save the cuteness and then let it go. As soon as your child can talk, you begin to model correct pronunciation when he makes a mistake. You don't need to make a big deal out of it. Just repeat what he said using correct pronunciation. For instance, if your child says, "I want to go with you," you can respond, "Oh, you want to go with me? Why do you want to go with me?" The idea is to repeat the correct pronunciation of the word as much as possible in a natural way. This is one of the easiest things you can do to improve your child's speech. Reading to them is another great thing. They'll become familiar with the way the words are supposed to be pronounced by hearing you speak them over and over. Then we can also have dedicated practice sessions. So let's talk about how to plan your formal practice sessions. Actually, I don't like the word formal. Let's call them just dedicated, meaning that you are focused solely on speech during that time period. So if your child only has one speech sound error, then your session will be pretty simple. Say you have a kindergartner who is struggling with TH. She says free for three and with for with. You'd like to help her say the sound correctly, even though you know this is a later developing sound. You might do a 10-minute session each day, or even just a few times a week. The outline of your session might look something like this. So, practice session for one sound. Spend 2 minutes preparing. You encourage your child to practice speech and get the materials ready. Then for the next 6 minutes, you practice TH in isolation. So you model the correct TH production in isolation. Ask your child to produce the TH in isolation, just like you did. Have your child tell you how to produce TH in isolation, and this is to make sure she knows how well enough to describe it to someone else. If she can do TH in isolation well, then have your child begin practicing initial TH in syllables and then words, using the practice materials, repeating each word 3 times. Encourage your child for putting her tongue between her teeth, paying attention, trying hard, or anything else she's doing right. If she can do TH in isolation well, have your child begin practicing initial TH in syllables and then in words, using the practice materials and repeating each word or syllable 3 times. Encourage your child for putting her tongue between her teeth, paying attention, trying hard, or anything else she's doing right. Be specific. Kindly correct any errors like putting teeth on her lip as an F sound, and be specific again for those. Wrap up the TH practice by encouraging her for progress made. And then the final 2 minutes, you just praise your child for working hard, give a small reward, put away materials, and tell your child when you'll be practicing again, so they know what to expect. So, practice sessions for multiple sounds. What if your child has more than one sound with errors? What would your speech session using multiple sounds look like? You could work on a different sound each day, or you could work on multiple sounds each session. So say you have a second grader who struggles with TH, Vocalic R, and S. He has a lisp for S and he knows how to produce it correctly, but he needs practice. He can't produce Vocalic R at all. He can say TH correctly, but he often forgets in a conversation. So in a 30-minute session, you might spend 10 minutes working on S in words, 5 minutes working on Vocalic R in isolation, because that's harder, and then 10 minutes on TH in conversation. So since the Vocalic R is harder, you would sandwich that between the two easier sounds so that your child doesn't get discouraged. So the outline for your session might look something like this. The first 2 to 3 minutes, you prepare, you encourage your child to practice speech, you get the materials ready, and then for 10 minutes, you work on initial S in words. So you model the correct S production in isolation, ask your child to produce S in isolation, have your child tell you how to produce S in isolation to make sure that he knows how well enough to describe it. Have your child begin practicing initial S in words using the practice materials and repeating each word 3 times. Snake, 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 or Sam, Sam, Sam. And then you encourage your child for putting the tongue behind the upper teeth or keeping teeth mostly closed, paying attention, trying hard, or anything else he's doing right. Just be specific. And then if he makes any errors, you just kindly correct those. Like if he sticks his tongue too far between his teeth or he opens his mouth too far, be specific on those too. And then wrap up the S practice by encouraging the productions and the progress made. And then spend 5 minutes on Vocalic R in isolation. So model the correct production for that. Show him how to do it using a mouth puppet or a flashlight in your mouth. Have your child practice the tongue placement. Do a fun R practice warm-up exercise. Always encourage what he does right. Be specific, even if he's just trying to do something and not really getting the sound, but trying. Kindly correct what he doesn't do right. Be specific. And then wrap up their practice by encouraging the progress he made. And then you go on for 10 minutes, maybe practicing TH in conversation. Model the correct TH in isolation. Have your child model the correct TH in isolation. Have your child tell you a story using the TH in conversation practice materials. Because remember, he's working on TH in conversation. He knows how, but he forgets. So have your child tell you about something that happened that week. Have your child discuss his favorite game. Video games always seem to work. Go figure. Encourage what he does right. Be specific. Kindly correct what he doesn't do right and be specific. And then the last 2-3 minutes again, wrap it up. Praise your child for working hard. Give a small reward. Put away materials and tell your child when you'll be practicing again. Now, it doesn't have to look exactly like this, but you get the idea. Shorter sessions tend to be easier with young children. So if you have a preschooler working on those same sounds, you might do 5 minutes on TH in the morning, 5 minutes on R after lunch, and 5 minutes on S in the evening. So in the next lesson, we'll learn some more guidelines for teaching sounds.